Welcome to Chronicles of Old Singapore. This is Dr. Loh KS, the people's historian, and I speak to people about their memories of Singapore before it became a global city. Today, what we're going to do is to kind of return to the area that a few of our previous guests have talked about, M. Subramaniam and Ashok Kumar. Both of them grew up in the general area of Tanjong Pagar, the port area. Our guest is someone who also knew Ashok, was friends with him to this very day. And that's how I got to know him actually. Let me just say hi and welcome with great pleasure, Mr. Venu, right?
Thank you.
Hi, morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Mr. Loh.
Yeah, I think for a long time I was wondering whether you are in Singapore or India because you have been in both places, right?
No, the first time when you contact me, I happened to be in India for 10 days.
Right.
I just met Ashok there. The previous day before you contacted me.
You guys have been friends for more than 50 years.
Yes. We were family friends. His father also was in, I think, Kapal Shipyard PSA or something like that. And my father also was in PSA. So we knew from, I think before I started school, I know him. That means more than 60 years.
This podcast would not have been possible without Ashok's kind introduction. So I want to shout out to him and thank him. He has so much fond memories of Singapore, right?
Yes.
Today. And he always looks forward to coming back.
Yes.
Did you meet him when he came back? I think a couple
of
years ago.
Some 6-7 months ago, I think.
6-7 months ago.
Last year he came. We met.
So maybe I think we can start with that, Venu. Where was it where you met Ashok the first time?
Ashok first time. He was in the same primary school as me, and his sister was my classmate. His elder sister was my classmate, and then because we were family friends, we visit each other. I remember I was staying in Queen's Crescent at the initial days when I was in primary school, and he was staying in Breeze Plain in Nelson Road area.
Yes. So do you mean that you already knew him when you were at Queen's Crescent?
Yes.
Okay. Because of your father's connections.
Correct.
What was the primary school?
Silat Integrated 1 or 2. Silat Integrated 2.
What, there were 2?
Yeah, there was Silat Integrated 1 and 2. Those days, I think the one was, I think, more of a Malay stream, I think. Our afternoon school hours was morning. That means every year they alternate.
So was this actually 2 different physical buildings?
No. Same building.
Same. Okay,
same building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like 2 sessions?
2 sessions, yes.
Right. So you were in the morning session?
1 year will be in the morning.
Okay.
The next year will be in the afternoon. So like ours was green. Our batches was Silat School green color. And then the one was red color. They had differences to differentiate the 1 and 2.
Maybe I just wait a while. Let me just pull up the photo that
Ashok gave.
Ashok sent me. This his class photo actually.
Yeah.
I can't remember now. I think this is lower primary school, right? Where
Yes,
they were really kids.
Yes.
I don't suppose you recognize any of these boys.
Think this one, because most of the children also were Indian, so I think he is standing there from the right side fourth.
That's him, right? Yeah.
Correct, huh?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Can you kind of recognize where this place is? It's hard to say.
I think this is at the field there. Not exactly sure because so many years ago. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, is the field next to the building.
So there was a single building.
It is a single building, but not. I think it's more like a C-shape or H-shaped building.
Terrace or multi-story?
It's a multi-story, about 4 or 5 stories. It's just recently, about 10 years ago, it got demolished. Outram Park there. Now is a part of GH.
Do you remember any of the teachers there?
My teacher, my primary four teacher, which is also Ashok's teacher, Margaret Tan,
Ah, yes.
she taught me when I was in 4P, taught him when he was in 5P or what, that means 2 years later.
I've heard of this Margaret Tan a few times from people who went to Silat school.
Yeah,
Uh, do you know Ashok's friends who used to live in Nelson Road?
Vijayan, is it?
Uh,
His
yes,
classmate,
Vijaya
one Vijayan
Naya.
also,
Yeah, yeah.
Nelson.
Vijaya
Yeah,
Naya, right?
Vijayan Nair,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. So they also mentioned her,
yeah, yeah.
So was there something remarkable about her?
Yeah, somehow or other she was very, most of the children find or students find her very fond and loving after so many years.
Mm,
And yeah, maybe she was maybe quite beautiful then itself now. So
yeah.
I think it was part of the reason.
I know what you mean. I always think of my primary school teachers as beautiful, right?
So Ashok himself used to praise her a lot,
Ah,
even
okay.
now.
Yeah. I'm actually hoping to get her onto the podcast. I think that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Do you remember what you were doing? Obviously you were studying at Silat School, but what were the things that you were doing when you were there as a primary school
I
student?
was a Cubs, a scout and Cub, there. So I was part of the Cub.
Mm.
And I studied there only until primary one to primary five. After that, after primary five, I left for India actually.
Ah.
And so primary four, the most eventful, if you can say that, is primary four. After during the primary four, I think 1965, that is, Margaret Tan brought uh, uh, fetched 10 of us to Changi Beach. My first time, that's the first time I'm going to Changi Beach. She brought us about 5 boys and 5 girls in a car. I think it was a Jaguar car, it's a big car. We were in Changi Beach that time, and that car has a radio at that time, 1965 radio. And I think they switched on the radio, and it was announced in the radio that Singapore and Malaysia is separating today. That is August 9, 1965. So it's a remarkable day. So then we all kind of or we were only 10 years old. So my teacher is what, 21, 22 then, I think
Mm.
so,
Mm.
Margaret Tan. And so they said that we better get moving from here because Changi Beach is not the safest place to be because we don't know what to expect because they just Singapore separate from Malaysia. So we move away. So we kind of only had a half a day, less than 2 hours there, and then we went back. So that was August 9, 1965. And then now I know that the Sadasivam, whom I introduced to you, his birthday is that day also.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I guess you were very young then. Did
Yeah, yeah.
you get the significance of the separation?
Not really, not really. Not
Mm-mm-mm.
really. Only thing is, I remember when I was staying in Queen's Crescent, maybe 1 or 2 years, 1 year earlier, I think so. I've seen some, the racial riot.
Yes.
Because of that, I see some chasing around, you know, one person chasing the other person and all that because of race and all that. So
Was
that kind of hit me. Still, I remember that
was that at Queen's Crescent?
Queen's Crescent there.
Ah, so
Yeah.
even the riots kind of affected that area.
I don't know when exactly was. I think it's because the riot, I think so, if my memory is correct. That
Mm-mm.
means there was quite like a heightened tension there during that period. So if say, especially like Malays and Chinese see each other, what they are kind, especially about say in the 20s, people in the 20s. I was only about 8, 9, 10 years old. They seem to be tension there.
Did Margaret Tan talk about on that day or subsequently the separation of Singapore?
Not to my knowledge,
I guess in primary school, the students were still quite innocent.
Yeah, yeah,
and not
correct,
really exposed to the politics that was going on.
correct.
Do you have any special friends in primary school? I mean, we all have special friends in primary school,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I have a friend. Actually, I asked him, but he said he's very busy, so please excuse him. I asked him
Mm.
whether he want to contribute to the podcast and all that. I know him from primary one also, and we are still good friends.
Ah,
That means 67 years.
that's amazing.
So I know him from primary one. We were neighbors in Queen's Crescent, next block. I was, I think, block 7, block, yeah, 7, yeah, block 7 or something like that. And he was in the opposite block.
Mm.
And we used to go to school together because from Queen's Crescent, we go to Silat, Kampong Bahru there. So our parents arrange those days like a pirate car.
Mm.
So he will take about 8 or 9. I think at some time or other it was a Morris Minor car. I still remember.
Mm.
And then because the car there's not enough seat, we want to cram more children into the car. They'll put a wooden bench on the back seat so more people can sit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So how many
uh,
people were in the car? How many
I
children
think
were in the car?
at the most, I think about 8 or 9
Oh my
children and
goodness.
all. And then they bring us to school.
Do you
So we
remember
used
the
to,
driver?
yeah. One driver, yeah. There was two. The one, I think, old man, I think he had, I think, diabetes, or I think now I can, on hindsight, now I know it could be because of diabetes, leg had problem. One.
Mm.
Then the later guy was a much more stout guy. He kind of shouted at us, but still very friendly. That I still remember him. Yeah, but of course I lost touch with him.
8 or 9 passengers.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't imagine that today, right?
yeah. Yeah.
No accidents ever happen.
No, no.
And
So
yeah.
this friend, his name is Rajan, and he and his sister, his younger sister, used to be the same car. And I think Rajendran, I think the younger sister may be Ashok's classmate, or maybe the same year, same cohort, same year. I
Mm.
maybe not, yeah, I'm not sure whether they are classmates or not.
Right.
So the thing is, his father and my father were in the same office also.
Ah.
They were, that time was Singapore Harbour Board. So we were friends. So when I came back, I went up to India about 5 years, I think so. Yeah, I came back, so I got reconnected to this friend of mine. So he also was doing. I lost 1 year. I was supposed to do my O level then, because I came back here. I didn't have any only in August when my passport expired. So I lost 1 year, and then afterwards we got reconnected, and then we became good friends again. So yeah,
I mean, how do you manage to do this, right? I think you have a few friends from
I have
60
very
years
few
ago.
friends. Yeah. And then to date, also we are almost even now. Also this morning, also I messaged each other and all that. And the best part is, our fathers were colleagues,
Mm.
and then his son and my son started primary one together in ACS, and now both of them are in Melbourne.
Right.
So it's a 3 generation already.
There are many touching points.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a couple of questions about Silat?
Yeah.
Do you remember the principal?
Oh, the principal, the name I forgot. I know there was a assistant principal, a lady. I forgot the
Mm.
name. She was a bit, when she comes, we are mindful of this thing. Then
Mm.
there was I think, discipline master, or prefect master, or Mr. Bood.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember him last.
You mentioned earlier were a lot of the students of the school Indians.
Yeah, quite a
Mm.
number. I think the Kampong Bahru area and all that.
And maybe the Harbour Board area as well,
Harbour
right?
Board area, correct.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Were most of the students, their parents, like port workers or,
I wouldn't know that.
Mm.
but I think there were, but now at that time you wouldn't know whose father, if you don't check, and if you're young, right? But maybe a good number of them, I think so. Maybe Sadashivam can attest to that because they continued until after secondary school. They were here, so he was still in touch, so they could relate to them each other. Like for me, I left off, and then I was
Yeah.
not in touch for 5 years, so that gap is there for me.
Do you know that there are actually two Facebook groups on Silat School from by the alumni?
No, I don't know.
There are actually. So I think it was a school that was quite memorable, right, for a lot of the alumni.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, yes.
You remember the school anthem?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. The best part is primary 5.
Mm,
The one sitting next to me was a Chinese boy. So after primary 5, I told you I went off to India, right?
yeah.
And then I came back. Afterwards, I was studying poly and all that. Then I was started working. I was working in Shell. Before that, I was working for Ministry of Environment for a few years or so as a civil servant. Then I was working in Shell. About 1 or 2 years later, I saw this person who I was reporting to him actually.
Mm.
His name is Ho Wo Lin. Then I say, one day I just turned around and asked him, hey, Ho, Wo Lin, were you in Silat Primary School? And this guy, he looked at me, he didn't say anything. Then I said, were you staying in Tanjong area? And say, and then you were our uniform was all navy blue shorts, but you kind of wore gray shorts, and used to bring the Lavex paper, the paper. He looked at me, his mouth opened up, and I said, "Wow, you remember all this?" I said, "You were sitting next to me in class in primary 5, and this is after 25 years later." And he was astounded. No, he was, "My God, how you remember this?" I said, I don't know, but I was talking to you all this while for so many years, but suddenly it clicked to me, you are the same person who was sitting next to me in primary 5. And
Goodness.
so that is something, uh,
I think you're
yeah,
just blessed with good memories, yeah?
yeah,
Some things you remember.
yeah. Then he kind of, he just couldn't, he say, oh, I think I was a cuckoo then. I said, but he's a blood learner. He actually overtake me, and I report to him. I used to report to him and all that. And yeah, so that is something which I cannot
Right.
forget. So yeah.
All right. So I've been wanting to ask you about Queen's Crescent, right?
Okay,
So what
okay.
kind of housing was this?
It's a rental housing.
Private?
I was staying at the 3rd story. I remember. It's a 7-story flat.
This was private or was it SIT?
SIT,
SIT. Okay, okay.
SIT. Yeah, yeah.
Would you consider this as part of Queenstown at the time?
I think so. Yes.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I don't know the demarcation how at that time they did, but it was Queen's Crescent. I think part of Queenstown. Yes. It's just Queen's Crescent. If you know now, the current um, Queenstown, they have a fire station right next to
yes,
the Queensway.
yes.
By the side of that is Queen's Crescent after the fire station.
Ah,
And now, if you go, you can see they are developing all the BOT flats or BTO.
yeah, which
BTO
means
flats.
it's quite far away, right, from the Queenstown Central.
Far away. It's nearer towards Alexandra Village.
Your father was working for the harbor board, right?
Yes,
So how
yes.
come he was staying quite far away from the harbor board?
His harbor board means his office used to be in Tanjong Pagar. That means, Tanjong Pagar, the 2-story office first. Last time it was used by the British first. I remember visiting there. Yeah,
What did your father do?
he was in the clerical side on the.
Okay. Yeah, I mean he would need to travel by bus, right, to the
He occasionally but I remember he had some colleagues who stay all in Queen's Crescent, so
Mm.
they also used to go in the car.
Are those flats in Queen's Crescent still around?
I just told you they just demolished about
Ah,
3 years ago,
okay.
and now they're doing a BTO. You can see now under construction
So they have survived all these years, yeah.
all these years. Yeah,
Wow.
some year, maybe about 5 years ago, I think they demolished.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
How many room flats were they?
but the one I was staying, I don't know about the others. We were one hall and one room and all that kind of. I think all of them were there. That way,
Considered 2-room flat lah.
2-room flats. Yeah.
Right, right. And which story were you all staying on?
Third story.
I mean, this would have been quite unique, right? In those days, it was still like for most people, 2-room flat in the
Yeah,
1960s
yeah.
was like a middle class kind
Correct,
of
correct. Something. I
housing.
think so. I believe so. No? Yeah.
Yeah. Any memories of you know,
Yeah,
living there and
I
growing
think
up
I
there?
wrote to you that I used to mix around with my age guys, or although my parents didn't allow us, but I somehow others used to the timing after evening cannot go out during the daytimes and all that during school holidays and all that we mix. Yeah, so I used to gather those and play games with them and all that. The other thing is I remember is they have these hawkers come every day, by selling roti, selling all those things out. And also they come and collect the waste, food waste every day. And every year, I think Chinese New Year, they used to come and give us a fowl, chicken, a live chicken to us. So as a thank you. So that I remember. So these people, they without fail, they come and, even though I don't think we expect the thing in return, but they make it a point to come and give chicken to every house which gives the food waste. The food waste, I believe, is for their pigs and all that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that I remember as something that now I think back, I think, oh, these people are still, they have the gratitude in them to must pay back something to these people. For us is we need to throw away the food waste somehow or other, but they come and collect, and they in turn they give us this in turn, at least something. Yeah.
I've heard of this food waste before, but never really asked the details. So how do you put it in a bag or something?
No, in a tin. Normally,
In a
I
tin.
remember in a tin.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
And how often do they collect? Every
I
day?
think every day, every
Uh,
day they come and collect. Yeah.
Now, the Queen's Crescent flat, right, compared to HDB flats today, what was like the size of it?
I think comparable. If you compare the hall and the room, is not too small. Nowadays, the current one, the hall and I mean, if you take a hall of a bedroom size, it's not as big as then. It's bigger hall. I think
It's fairly
bigger room.
spacious, yeah, even for
Yeah,
two-room
more
flat.
spacious, more, yeah. And those days, TV just came, 1963 or what. I still think I remember
Yes,
1964 or what. I think
correct,
just came.
correct.
So most of the houses don't have TV. And sometime in they had this TV or electrical shops which they sell TV, and they'll put a TV for people to view on the TV, so that people all go and sit in front of that shop there and watch TV.
And where is
Most
this?
Queen's Crescent there as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So this was in a shop in Queen's Crescent.
yeah. No, I remember that, and also Alexandra Village.
Yes. Because even now today, right, you have all those TV shops there, right?
Yeah, at Alexandra Village, but it's a totally different. Alexandra Village is not
Yes.
where the IKEA is now.
Yes.
That is to be like a village. The road is all unpaved gravel roads. They have, very rough roads. So they used to have my father used to bring to a barber there because he knows the barber there. So we used to walk until Alexandra Village there. All is like attap houses and two-story houses and shop houses. Quite interesting. Very old memory. Yeah. And then they used to, some shops they sell, the Hokkien mee type of thing. So I remember my father used to go occasionally, not buy the Hokkien mee from there. Now the current where IKEA and Safra and all that junction there. And then the other thing is there's very frequent, every Monday they have Pasar Malam, night market and Queen's Crescent.
So can I ask you, at Queen's Crescent, how many blocks were there, roughly?
If my memory is still good, I think some are long blocks. So one single straight block. The one in front of me, my block across the road, is one very long block. I think about 10 stories or what. Then my block is a H-shaped block. So that is two. And then they had behind they had about 3-4 blocks. I think all in all, I think about a dozen blocks at least. And then some were 2 stories. So even if you count the 2-story, maybe almost about 20 blocks at least.
That's quite a big area, yeah?
Yeah,
Huh?
quite a big area.
Quite a number of families living there.
Yeah.
And the void deck are the shops.
Void deck, even the first story was flats.
Okay.
No void deck.
So where are the shops?
The shops are separate buildings, different
Okay.
shop houses. Where they had shops, there's normally 3 or 4 stories, and
Right.
shops were at the ground floor. No void deck. I can't remember any void deck.
And you said there was
That concept came later only. Void deck concept.
right. And you said there was a market nearby, right?
Yeah. There is a wet market nearby,
Mm.
and then I still remember the man, he'll sell bread, bread in a bicycle. So with the butter kaya and all that, now we had to go to Yakun and all that, same type of bread. He will
The
you
white
go
bread.
there, butter and kaya, he'll buy from him and then he'll sell you. Yeah.
Quite a lively area, yeah?
Yeah, quite a lively area. Yeah. I think even after I was primary 6, when I was here, they still had hawkers. Primary 5, they still had hawkers around.
So in that area, what was there at the time in the early 60s, right? The shopping center came later, right? Queensway Shopping Center came later.
No, later, much later.
Yeah. What about across the road?
Across the road, on now the Sterling Road, it was a hilly pig farm area.
So it had not been developed yet.
No, not yet. What they call it now, what is that? Mei Lin Street. All those areas, there was no Mei Lin Street. I don't think so. It's all a hilly pig farm area.
The Queenstown Central, was it up by the time you were there?
Queenstown Central.
You know, the library, the theater.
Library was not there. I don't think library was there. Library, no. Of course, National Library was there, but not this one.
The
This
prison wasn't there also, right?
Huh?
The prison.
I don't know. I can't, no memory of that.
All those things came later because they moved the Outram prison to the Queenstown prison.
I think later.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my days, I think I remember in terms of prison, I think Outram prison, was there.
Correct, yes.
Outram, and then the police station now opposite the cantonment, now the police HQ, there used to be a junction. That used to be a police station.
So in those days, if you want to go go out for fun or go shopping, where do you go?
I was too small to go to primary 1 to primary 5.
Right.
I don't know. Those days you don't go for that age. My parents don't allow me to go to, but there used to be, as I told you, that behind the HDB flat was Alexandra Hospital and then the railway line. Then there was a longkang, a drain, a big drain. So my friend used to go there and catch fish, guppies and all that. That they used to do. Flying kite was then popular, which hardly nowadays no children do that.
And tell me, what kind of kites were these?
Those paper kites.
Paper kites.
We make ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Or we buy from the shop.
Did those kites have special string?
Yeah. Sometimes they put the glass
You can cut, right?
string cut and all that. Yes, yes, yeah. And then those days, chatek, chatek, what is chatek?
Chat.
Shuttlecock. Like
Ah,
shuttle, chatek, CHATTEK. It depends on how well you play chatek with the leg,
yeah, yeah,
you have known chatek,
yeah.
the one
The feather, right? Is it?
feather, the
Yeah,
feather
yeah.
with the rubber base. That used to be popular then.
Mm,
Then the cards, what I mentioned to you. There are many other games like in plastic, they have a hook. So you use your hand and then you must play with the other guy. So I forgot how to. Well, very, very long already, more than 60 years. I think. Yeah,
was there a playground in Queen's Crescent?
yeah.
Okay, there
There
was.
were.
We
Yeah,
what did it have?
they had swings and all that. Yeah, seesaw. That is next to the fire station actually.
The fire station was up already?
Yes,
Was the area was quite lively, right? It was quite neighborly
yes,
and
yes,
it's
yes.
not so close as before, as later on when HDB flats came up.
So close means
I mean, like, the families keep to themselves, the children are inside the flats, that kind of thing.
yeah, but they're both lah. I think you have families who are very open. This thing.
Mm,
There are some families who are keep to themselves. There, yeah,
mm,
some. But yeah, but those days I think much more people open. They open up the houses. They mingle more
mm,
easily, and also more people speak Malay than now.
mm.
Among the races, the English was not the predominant language then. I think Malay was then in my younger days. In fact, I studied Malay as a national language in Silat School.
Ah,
Yeah, for the first 2 years. I don't know, when I came back, they don't teach Malay anymore because it's still the national language.
because when you were there, we were in Malaysia, right?
And
Yeah, we were in
part of
Malaysia.
we were first initially, yeah, part
Mm-mm.
of yeah. We used to sing the Malayan anthem, the Malaysian national anthem, then only in the Singapore. Yeah,
So you
yeah.
had a Malay teacher at Silat.
We had, but yeah, we had. But I can't remember. Yeah,
Okay.
because like I told you, the other Silat one was mainly Malay stream. Silat, although I don't think clearly, like I think the Vijayan Nayar's brother, he
Uh,
was in Silat one. I think he took Malay,
okay.
his elder brother, who is my cohort. But I don't know, somehow or other the parents put him in the Silat one.
Yeah.
And but Vijayan was in Silat two with Ashok.
How did you get to know him? Through your fathers as well.
The brothers, is it? Yeah, we are family friends also. Yeah. Maybe the language. So like Vijayan, myself, and Ashok, we are not Tamils. We speak a different language, Malayalam.
Malayalam, yeah.
So maybe the parents put him in the elder brother in one, because there was anyway they don't speak Tamil at home, so they have an option of studying Malay. Whereas my parents and all that, they just maybe it's the Indian language,
Mm.
so just went along.
Do you know Malayalam?
Yeah, I do.
You do. You learn it
When I was in
outside.
India,
Okay, okay.
actually in Queen's Crescent, when I was there, I told you Alexandra Village, right? They had a Malayalam class.
Mm.
I used to go after after school. I used to go there for 1 or 2 days, once a week or twice a week. I can't remember, for classes. They used to have that, but then I can't remember anything. But because I went to India, so
Yeah,
I picked up the language. I studied as a one subject.
I see. I
Because
see.
where I studied in Kerala, we didn't have Tamil as a subject, so I have to study languages. So I studied uh, both Malayalam, Hindi, and for a while French also.
Can I ask you, did you ever accompany your father to the Tanjong Pagar area?
I
Or
did,
even
I
like
did,
after
but I
school, you
can't.
know?
I
Mm.
did.
Any memories of Tanjong Pagar?
I think this is before, when you say Tanjong Pagar, it stretched from,
Mm.
there was no biplane then. There was no Anson Road, the building, the tall, what building is that? The junction opposite
In,
MAS,
you mean the current building, international building?
International Building, all were not
Mm-mm,
there, of course.
mm-mm.
So it's more all shop houses, I remember.
Right.
Mostly all shop houses.
Mm.
I think all got relocated and all that because the port was, they built up the port.
Yeah.
So more shop houses. But my memory is very poor on that
Mm.
area because I hardly been there.
Did you ever go to Breeze Plain or
Yeah, I
Nelson Road?
did. Brisbane I have been.
Okay.
Couple of times I did, yeah. Yeah.
Any memories?
I know where Ashok was staying in front, there's a big field. Uh, and yeah, but she hardly go and play like it's bad. Yeah. And Nelson Road also.
Yeah, the whole place is gone, right? I
Whole
mean, all
place
the
is gone. The
houses are
whole
gone.
place transformed already.
Okay, so let me ask you. I mean, you've mentioned this a few times, and when Ashok talked about this, he had quite strong feelings about it. Going back to India, right? He left. Unlike you, he left permanently.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about when was it that your family went back to India?
1966.
1966.
I know 1966. Before him,
Did the whole family go back?
yes.
Did your father retire or something?
No. My father was still back in
Yeah.
Singapore to work.
Mm.
Uh, we went back. Your question was, why is it?
Mm.
I think because my mother's family, when we were here, her father passed away. So she was like attached to the family. And then she told my father that she wants to be with her mother. Her mother, they have, because so my father said, you can't be going up and down every time, every 1 year or 2 years or what. If you want, you can go there permanently, stay there.
Mm.
And then maybe he has to put me in boarding school. That's what he did. That's my understanding. Of course, I didn't discuss with them later. Yeah.
Right. How many siblings did you have?
Three or to four of us now.
And who was the
I was the
youngest?
eldest.
You were the eldest. So the others are quite young, yeah?
Yeah. Not now, not anymore.
How did you feel when did you realize the significance of leaving?
Of course, I mean, I was a bit like homesick also because
Mm.
I went and stayed immediately after 2 weeks. I left and I was staying in a boarding house. So I was like, the whole place is new.
Mm.
I mean, even though it's not, I know only Singapore then by then. So like, I didn't know anyone there. And yeah, so I was feeling homesick for the first 1, 2 months, then got used to it.
Whereabouts was this in Kerala?
In south, in a place known as, now they call it Kollam, Kollam. The English call it Quailon, Quilon. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. In fact, there used to be a port in the olden days where even the Chinese admirals used to visit then. So it was a
Mm.
famous spot in the olden days itself.
So this was still an urban area.
It's, you can say that, but where I was,
Mm.
my school is very close to the Arabian Sea. So we had a boys' school and a girls' school. It's a girls' convent, Mount Carmel Convent. So this two school was a bit popular, and in fact, only very few locals attended that school. Or mostly there are a lot of Malaysian Singaporeans and people whose parents were in the Middle East and all that attending the school, and also from all over the They stay all very from. That's why we had boarding school. They used to stay in the boarding, right? So the parents were away maybe few hundred kilometers away, or even in different states also.
What kind of adjustments do you have to make, to get used to Kerala and Kolam?
One thing is the language. I was studying the language, the people, and I also was staying with Anglo Indians. My particular case, they were not
Uh-huh.
really Indians by themselves. They are the descendants of British, Dutch, and mixed with the Indians. Also, something new for me then to get to know this type of people. They
Ah.
are very mostly they are Catholics, Anglo Indians, and then they are fun-loving people, very music oriented and all that. Yeah,
Mm. Were you all Catholics also or Hindus?
I'm a Hindu,
Okay.
but I used to go to church when I was in school, so especially during exam times, or much more frequently.
All right. I mean, Kolam must have been quite a different kind of city, right?
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Queen's Crescent area.
No, no, more commercial. You
Mm.
say.
How was the food? Was it different? Was it better?
Food, of course, the food at home, if I go to where my mother stayed is different. I mean, I'm used to, but these people is different because they are Catholics, so
Mm.
they cook different way of this thing, but still rice, a bit slightly different. Yeah.
How about I mean, you were very young then, but how
Mm.
about the people, the way that they interact, the way they
Yeah, they're
behave?
very friendly. They're very
Very
friendly,
friendly.
very friendly. Yeah. And in fact, I was there when I was 12 years old, I think. Yeah.
Mm.
But we had in the junior boarding school children who are 5 years, 6 years staying in boarding school also, very young. So I still remember that we had their special matrons to take care of them.
Does boarding school mean that you have more freedom compared to at home, or was it also very strict because of the matron and
Also strict, more strict actually.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. There are two types of boarding school. Down there, the school itself has a boarding school.
Mm.
That means in the school premises, there's boarding school, which was actually run by the priest. And then the warden was a father, a priest, right? But mine, I was staying in a private boarding run by the people, the houses there, they had big houses. So they accommodate students to stay in their houses. So mine was a private boarding.
Mm.
Whereas the school boarding, because it was full, I couldn't get admission to the school boarding, and I went late. So the school boarding is you have about 300, 400 people, students staying in the boarding house, juniors and senior students and all that. So
So I guess in this time, your mother was attending to her family
yeah, yeah,
affairs,
yeah.
and
And
do
my
you know?
younger siblings were staying with her.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know whether, I mean, of course, they still communicated, right? Your mother and your father.
My mother passed away. My parents passed away, but my sister is still there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
They are
So
still
I
there.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My sister was actually joined me in Silat in primary one. Then after primary one, she left.